Hello everybody, my name is Ben Mason. I'm the undergraduate admissions tutor for the BSc in Population and Geography at the University of Southampton. I also have the very great honour of being one of the teachers on Population and Geography as well, where I teach introductory quantitative methods to undergraduate students across all the social sciences, actually, not just on Population and Geography. But I would like to talk to you briefly about what the BSc in Population Geography actually is. So I suppose we should start actually with that question: what is population and geography? What are we interested in? Well, I suppose what we're fundamentally interested in, what really gets us going, is population change. That is the fundamental basic of what we're really interested in. But that actually doesn't really quite capture it, because what we're really interested in is why populations change and how populations change, and really importantly, what are the implications of those changes. We're interested in fertility and migration and immigration and mortality and issues like that, and how they interact in often incredibly complex and really interesting ways to develop the societies that we experience on a day-to-day level. And the truth is, there has never been a more exciting time to study population change. This plot that I'm showing you right now shows population growth since the year 1950 for various different regions of the world. And what it shows is that since about 1950, the population, total world population, has grown threefold. I mean, that's a huge expansion of population. I mean, that's population growth on a level that we've not ever seen. The human race has never had to deal with population growth at that kind of level. And what comes with that is a whole load of challenges and issues that we need to be able to understand. We need to be able to deal with, and we need to be able to deal with them now. We need to start this process of understanding them now, especially when you consider that if our projections are accurate, that's these dotted lines, you can see from these lines that in sub-Saharan Africa, the population is projected to continue expanding at least until the year 2100. And so when you consider the impact of climate change, for example, we have to fully understand what the implications of this population growth actually will be. How can we deal with it? What will be the impact on our resources? We have to be able to understand these issues. And that's what really gets us going. Questions like that are really what get us going. So this is an example of a population pyramid for the structure of the population in England and Wales from 2016 to 2041. So the way that we read this is it's for males and females. On the left we have males, and on the right we have females. And on the bottom we have the population count in thousands. And then on the y-axis we have age. So it gives you a profile of the population size at each age in England and Wales from 2016 to 2041. Now, there's the point. What you can see from this, if you're looking at the pale blue area here, you can see a little spike here, for example. That's the post-war baby boom. So all of those people who were born just after the Second World War are now reaching their 70s. So you can see the little spike in the population there caused by the post-war baby boom. But what's particularly interesting about this plot is this solid blue line. This represents what we think the population structure will be like come the year 2041. And the key to this is this bulge at the top end of the population. That shows us, that's telling us that by the year 2041 we're expecting to have an older population. We're expecting to have almost double the number of elderly people that we do now. So what does that mean? What are the implications of that about how we run society? If we, for example, subscribe to the idea that we have, as a society, a moral obligation to take care of those who are more vulnerable than us, then that begs the question of how are we going to take care of this larger population of elderly? How are we going to fund that kind of treatment that they'll need and the care that they'll need? Well, one option might be, for example, to look at migration. If, for example, we don't have the resources in the country to be able to cope with the additional demands that this larger elderly population will place, well, maybe we get people in from the outside. And indeed, that has been some of the motivation behind some of the migration policy that the UK has had over the past 10 years or so. But that has implications in itself, right? If you have policies that invite people in from other countries to come and work in the UK to provide services that we're unable to be able to provide ourselves, then that has political implications and societal implications and cultural implications. Indeed, in fact, the most commonly cited reason for people voting in favour of Brexit was the issue of immigration. Whether or not our membership of the EU actually had any difference whatsoever to our migration policies is debatable. But nonetheless, it creates this social structure, this social perception that migration is an issue, and then it has political, social and cultural impacts. And these are all things that need to be understood through the prism of population growth and population change. Another possible potential issue with migration, of course, is not just to do with our own culture and our own social structures. What about where these people are coming from? If, for example, we target, as the NHS, if we target people in the Philippines, for example, to try and invite Philippine nurses over to help supplement our own NHS, what does that do to the Philippines? Does that leave them bereft of people qualified and skilled enough to provide their own health care? And what are the implications of that? One possible implication, if they're unable to provide the health care that they would otherwise be able to do, we might start seeing impacts to things like under 5 mortality. The plot that we're currently showing here is a plot of the deaths per 1,000 live births. That's the under 5 mortality by geographical region. And the different shades in each of these bars represents different years. So, since the 2000 Millennium Development Goals, one of the UN's primary goals has been to try and reduce the under 5 mortality around the world. And this plot shows, from the fact that these darker bars are generally much shorter than all of the larger, whiter, paler bars, that indicates that we have managed to just about halve the under 5 mortality rate in a little under 20 years. And that is a remarkable achievement. Extraordinary achievement. In just about every single region in the world, the under 5 mortality rate has about halved. But things like this are only possible because we have people like you who are prepared to apply their quantitative knowledge to social issues, to population growth, projecting population growth and understanding what the implications are. So that's why population and geography at the University of Southampton is such an exciting thing to study right now. So this gives you an idea of a typical programme structure on the BSc in Population and Geography. You'll see that it's modular in structure, and in each year you will do 8 modules, some of which are optional, some of which are core and compulsory. You can get much more information on these modules from this link down here, and I would urge you to go and have a look at some of these modules. I am particularly fond of the research methods in the social sciences and the introduction to quantitative methods. Both of those are my modules. But go and have a closer look at them if you're interested. Definitely worth looking at. In particular, the dissertation project is something that most of our students find particularly rewarding, because that is your own piece of research. So we'll spend the year 1 and year 2 teaching you the skills of analysis and quantitative methodologies that you need to be able to research social issues, and then in your dissertation projects you get to apply them to whatever it is that interests you, whatever it is that gets you going. That's when you get to apply them. So that's a particular piece of work that many of our students are particularly keen on. One of the benefits of the BSc in Population and Geography is the fact that we're very data driven. So if you've got a keen interest in methodologies that use quantitative analysis techniques, then this is going to be good for you. If you're interested in social issues and how you can apply your quantitative skills to social issues, this is going to be the degree for you. One of the repercussions of that is partly that we can then offer the BSc in Population Geography as opposed to a Bachelor of Arts. But it also improves your employability. So 100% of the Population Geography graduates are currently employed or in further education after 6 months of graduation. And that's according to the latest Graduate Outcomes survey that was released back in 2020. And the kinds of jobs that our graduates tend to go on to are those jobs that value the quantitative analysis. So there's lots of jobs in the private sector that will do that, banking and insurance and all of that kind of stuff. But there's also a lot of jobs concerning social research where people actively go searching for population geography graduates. We have particularly strong links with the Office of National Statistics. The degree is run by the Social Statistics and Demography Department at the University of Southampton, and we have very strong links with the Office of National Statistics, and quite frequently our graduates do end up working there. So our entry requirements, well, typically we require ABB at A-level or equivalent. There are no specific A-level subjects that are required. As long as you have ABB, then we don't mind whether that's in maths or in geography or in any other science, physics. My background, in fact, is in physics. But anyway, if you have an extended project qualification, then you may be eligible for reduced entry requirements. But the other thing I would mention as well, for anybody, in fact, applying for university, is that if you don't quite manage to make the grades that you had hoped for, then maybe just give the university a call on results day anyway and try your luck. So if you have any more questions about the BSc in Population and Geography, go and have a look at this link here, and it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but have a look at this link here. You can pause the video and type it into your type the URL into your address bar, or just do a Google search for BSc in Population and Geography. You will find that we come out very close to the top, if not actually at the top on Google searches. If you want to see what our students think of us, there's a YouTube video that you might like to watch here. Well worth going to have a look at that. And if you do have any other questions, just drop me an email. I'm always really keen to hear from prospective students. Asking questions is key. You know what? Asking questions is key throughout life. Okay, not just about the applications process and about studying BSc in Population and Geography. Ask questions. Always ask questions. Be curious. Stay curious. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I do hope to be hearing from you soon. Take care. Thank you.